So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Obama Show, and welcome today to Wallo. We are here in the land of Teranga, land of hospitality, land of bravery, land of courage. As you may know, we are here for a 2-day English club activity organized by the different chapters of Association of Teachers of English in St. Louis, in Podor, and in Rushato. So we are here with our team. On behalf of the Obama Show team, we say thank you very much for watching this Obama Show. And our today's session is about, as I told you earlier, about the English Language Day organized by the different chapters in St. Louis. And as topic, they have reforms regarding our national exams, which are the BFM and the BAC laureate. So before going any further, we are going to introduce some of our presenters, the people who are going to present here today. We'll be having some interviews with them. Also, we'll, as usual, share the highlights of the event with you. People who couldn't make it, who couldn't attend this event, the Obama Show is here to share those highlights with you and to maybe have impressions of the day from people who attended this event. And after these highlights, we'll be back on the stage with the interviews with our different presenters and some colleagues. Thank you very much. Let's come back later with the interviews.
Brave and courageous women of land. Welcome to Wallo, the land of Numberboy. Welcome to Wallo, the land of Linguère. Have a nice workshop. Thank you.
I want to name them, but they recognize themselves. So to all the colleagues, I would say welcome to Wallo, land of freedom fighters. Welcome to Wallo, land of devoted teachers. Welcome to Wallo. Welcome to Rishato, the sugar town. So before going any further, I would like to thank all the board members of Artist Wallo. They are very dynamic guys. Also, I would like to thank St. Louis branch of Artist St. Louis for their trust. Because I think it's the first time we are organizing a regional English Language Day. I mean, it gathers all departments of the region of St. Louis. I think it is the first time. And they have chosen us. And that is a great honor for us. Since we have just 2 years of existence, don't forget it. The Artist Wallo board was set up on April, I think it was 2017. So today we're going to talk about the reforms of the baccalaureate and the BFM exam. I think it's very topical. And I won't develop it any further because there are here some eminent guys. I would like to name Mr. Amin Sal and Mr. Shah. They are trainers. They are going to deal with this subject.
Good morning and welcome to our deans. And first I would like to talk to Mr. Brown. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown, for making it. Thank you to our deans. And then I would like also to mention Yaya Mane. I will never tire from saying this, that these people are the pioneers and they are our champions. You guys have made it from the Morphal Island to the remotest villages to come to make it today here to celebrate the English language. I would like also to say good morning and welcome to our dear students. Because the ELD is not just a celebration for teachers. So the particularity of the ELD is that it's a celebration for both teachers and learners. Sheikh Tijan Amin and Yaya Mane as the dean. So they say they're going to take up this challenge because it's not only talking about what authorities have done or what authorities want, But we want it bottom up. We want really to know what teachers think of the reforms. Because these are our students that are going to be evaluated. So that makes this topic particularly important. We want to change. And this is the right place really to gather and then to give our point of view. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have also our students. And the topic is also very important because this is about citizenship. You know, people are talking about citizenship. I always believe that there is no way we can do to develop this country if we are not good citizens. I don't want to be really long, very long, because we are behind schedule. But before ending my speech, I would like also to thank Ateswalo for your leadership skills, for your commitment. You know, sometimes I was just asking myself questions. I said, can they really make it? But I think the question is definitely yes, they made it. So thank you so much, guys, for making it.
Thank you very much for coming. When I came this morning, I found some teachers, and then the first words that came out were, Mr. Brand, vos enfants sont là. And thank you very much for that. I'm very proud of you all. You can make it, keep going. God bless us. Thank you.
Dans toutes nos activités, il est là pour nous aider. Quand on amène les élèves à Saint-Louis pour les besoins d'une compétition extra, vraiment la mairie est là pour nous soutenir. Donc, merci de faire passer ce message.
J'aurais dû même ne pas venir, puisqu'il est là, il est conseiller municipal, donc il pouvait vraiment représenter le maire. Mais je voudrais dire aussi que le maire est vraiment de tout cœur avec vous. Il vous soutient, il est prêt donc, à continuer toutes les actions qu'il est en train de mener. Donc, d'une manière générale, dans le système éducatif de la commune, mais particulièrement aussi pour le club anglais. Parce qu'il a vu aussi l'engagement des professeurs d'anglais dans la commune, donc ce qu'ils sont en train de faire donc, pour la commune et pour les enfants. Donc, il m'avait vraiment demandé, quand je serai là, de vous féliciter, de vous remercier de votre engagement. Et il vous dit que vraiment il regrette de ne pas pouvoir donc, se présenter lui-même, mais il est de tout cœur avec vous. Je vous remercie.
Have we got the aim? Have we reached, let me say, our objectives? The purpose is, this is what we should, the question we should be able to answer before ending up this morning, this panel. Maybe we are going to talk about reformation, as they say, the reform of baccalaureate and BFEM, but it is reformation about English language teaching as in general. We can work out from this panel something very useful that will benefit from all our students wherever they can be around Senegal or the region, but benefit to all teachers of English, because I'm sure that all of us, we are teaching, but each of us in his corner, and we are not always sure that we are teaching English, and this we must know it. We must try to solve this problem. So I congratulate Ates, and I wish good workshop to all of us. Thank you very much.
Les mots qui sont ressortis en premier des discours qu'on a eu à entendre, c'était engagement, c'était discipline, c'était aussi qu'il n'y avait pas de fin pour les études. C'est aussi que le succès du professeur ne se résume pas à son succès personnel, mais aux résultats de ses élèves, aux compétences que peuvent acquérir les formés, les initiés. Donc, un bon enseignant ne se juge pas qu'à son niveau personnel, pas qu'à sa façon de parler la langue, mais aussi au niveau et à sa façon de déteigner sur le comportement et les compétences de ses élèves. Et pour cela, nous vous remercions. Aussi, j'aimerais vous dire que l'amicale des étudiants de Richard Toll à Saint-Louis prend cela comme un honneur et un infime privilège de pouvoir participer à un événement de la sorte qui pourra certainement aider que ce soit les professeurs comme les élèves, à pouvoir peut-être mieux comprendre les réformes liées au baccalauréat et au BFEM. Et je pense que c'est une chose très importante.
Thank you very much for watching. I hope you are enjoying the event. And we are back on stage with one of the presenters of the panel, Mr. Sal. He's going to introduce himself and tell you about his impression of the day before he goes deep down to the topic he was presenting on. Thank you very much, Mr. Sal, for being on the show.
Thank you, Mr. C. My name is Amin Sal. I am a teacher trainer at the CRFP of St. Louis. We're here today to celebrate the St. Louis Regional English Language Day. And within that framework, we also held this morning a panel on language assessment, the reforms of the BFEM and baccalaureate exam.
Okay. So our main topic today is about reforming, testing, assessment, and so on and so forth. Why you choose this topic today?
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. C, over the past 2 or 3 years, people have been talking about reforming the national exams, namely BFEM and baccalaureate. And that's why, since we know that the changes are coming ahead, probably by next year, the reform of the BFEM exam will be implemented. And then that's why we said that this is a very good opportunity to take a leap forward, that is anticipate and talk about those coming changes.
So your topic, you present it on leading language assessment and what again? Reform with evidence. What does that take into account really?
Okay, so when we talk about leading language assessment reform with evidence, so I insist on the word evidence, because when you reform, it's just because you are not satisfied with something. There are changes that you want to bring to the process. And then it is very important then, the diagnosis is very important then. So, and in the diagnosis, because if you fail to do a very good diagnosis, then you will come up with wrong information, and then the changes that you want to implement will not be appropriate. That's why I insist on evidence, so that whatever we do, whatever step we do in this reform process should be backed up. It should be backed up by reliable data. So that's why we talk about evidence, and that evidence we can find it from when we say there is a famous quote that says, "The truth is in the data." So that you cannot just base reforms on opinions, or just first thought. You need really real data, and that data can be found in surveys. You can find the data in action research, and things like this. That's why I insist on this.
I'm sorry I'm keeping you longer, but I have one more question to ask before you leave. It's about this gathering today. What are your expectations?
Oh, well, it's great. So, this gathering here today, we have mainly teachers from all over the region of St. Louis. Some teachers are coming, from very remote areas up to the Gale. It's very remote in the Futa area. So that today we gathered here teachers from St. Louis from all over the region of St. Louis to talk about these important reforms. And then our expectation is that when they go back, they will disseminate with their colleagues. But also in the afternoon, there is a very important festival of, there is a competition between students. And we will have time to enjoy ourselves.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It was Mr. Amin Jai, teacher trainer in St. Louis, and we'll be back for more interviews with our next presenter. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back right back.
He's going to talk about the reforms of the baccalaureate and the reforms of the BFEM. After Chef Diop, who is a trainer, we will also have another trainer, Amin Sal. Amin Sal is going to talk about the issues related to national exams, and the expectations of teachers.
Wallow for the effort they have been making to make things happen. Attest Saint-Louis also for its dynamism, but also the authorities of Richard Toll, the students, the colleagues who have come from everywhere in the region to be here this morning. Of a paramount importance to come and meet colleagues, to expose them what has been done so far, and what is most important for me today is the feedback that we will get from you. Because as I said a while ago, nothing is definitive yet. Concerning the baccalaureate, we are just going to read you this report concerning the committee in charge of the reforms, so that people should have an idea about, what the reform maybe will be about, and even get them ready to give their ideas. As far as the BFEM is concerned, there is a document which is already proposed to the ministry, but which is not yet official. And that document, maybe we're gonna share it with you, so that you should know what to prepare, what you are expected to. Some people were even reluctant to share it with colleagues, but I think it is very important to share it. Because if we develop it, if we share it with you, you will know a little bit about what the students will be expected to in the final exams. Because I think this is one of the main problems we are facing in our schools. We go in many schools visiting colleagues, but sometimes the motivation is here, but the main problem is sometimes how to prepare the learners to the final exams. And if you develop this today, maybe you will know what are the activities you have to focus more, so that students should not be at a loss on the exam day. L'IGF Pierre Clavier Pouy, qui est également IGF en anglais, a présenté le modèle d'épreuve du Collège de sciences physiques. Il a étayé par le document sur la procédure de constitution d'une banque d'items d'épreuves. Adam Sidibé présenta ensuite le modèle d'épreuve proposé par le Collège d'anglais et présenté lors de l'atelier des 21 et 22 septembre à l'UCAD 2. L'IGF Macham Cham, que tout le monde connaît ici, je suppose, a complété les présentations en partageant des épreuves conçues avec des élèves professeurs et des collègues du lycée Blaise Diagne qui ont fait l'objet de présentations et discussions lors de rencontres pédagogiques. Les discussions ont porté sur les épreuves du BAC, mais aussi sur les considérations plus générales, mais qui ont des conséquences sur l'épreuve du BAC, à savoir, c'est-à-dire des considérations qui ont des conséquences sur les épreuves. Les modalités d'application du trialing ou simulation appelées cobayage dans le document, des essais. La nécessité d'exploitation aux fins d'analyse et d'évaluation des trois composantes majeures des épreuves d'anglais avec le recours éventuel à des logiciels. Et une révision des textes, des définitions des épreuves. Troisièmement, les réformes appliquées dans les bacs techniques qui obéissent à un autre format des épreuves d'anglais, ça c'est autre chose, eux ils vont expérimenter cette année, je l'ai dit tout à l'heure. Une révision ou revisite de la taxonomie de Bloom, la couverture du programme amoindrie en sa validité dans l'utilisation du format d'épreuve basé sur un texte unique et long, avec une accentuation de la grammaire, surtout au niveau des enseignements. Thank you so much. My name is Seydou Diop. I am a teacher trainer in St. Louis. Okay, so today it's a big pleasure for me to be here among colleagues to talk about an important issue related to reforms concerning the BFEM and the BAC. And as I always say, training should be going on, because if we meet colleagues, exchange ideas, you can either learn what you don't know or share what you know. And this was what we have done today. Some points that are related to the reform of the baccalaureate. And I think that the debate was very fruitful. People have taken the floor, have contributed, have asked questions, and we have actually shared many points. We agreed on many aspects, and I think it was really very satisfactory. The teacher trainers is to draw teachers' attention on the reform that are going on, to sensitize teachers so that they should be aware of the changes. Because for the time being, I am not sure that all the teachers of English are aware that there are, reforms going on. I think this is our main role. But as for the teachers, I think that if they are in possession of the reforms, their role should be to adapt to these changes. Otherwise, they are going to make their students fail, which is something to avoid.
All right, so thank you for having me today. So I'm Mr. Sek, I'm a teacher of English at Charles de Gaulle High School. And then I'm also the artist president, the regional branch of St. Louis. All right, so I think this is a great event, and this is a great opportunity for teachers, because teachers cannot work in isolation. It's always good to meet, to gather, and then this is how we can share, ideas. And this event is special because this is the third edition of our CELT, and it's held here in Richard Hall. And then we have teachers from the whole region meeting today, and we have an activity for teachers, and we have also an activity in the afternoon for students. So that's my impression. Is really a great event. All right. So as you know, I had 2 terms as a board member at the national level. So when I was elected president in this regional branch, I decided to step back from the national level and then to work and go grassroots. So, and our first activity was in Podor, and we set up the sub-branch of Podor. And then today we are having a regional event here in Richard Hall. And then we want to cover the whole region, to go and meet all the teachers and to go grassroots and meet all the teachers. Right now, I see all the brilliant teachers that you see, they are former English club members. I could guess, you see. So and then we have even now leaders at the international level who are former English club members. And you see this connection they have with the club. It's like a family. Actually, it's a family. But the problem, another problem is the percentage of students, going to the English club. If you compare it with the other, the big number of students who do not attend the English club. And then if you compare, for example, for fluency, let's say oral skills, there is no better place than the English club to boost those skills. I think this is, as I said, the laboratory. This is a forum where they can meet and develop their leadership skills. And it's really more than just English. They learn English, but they learn also leadership skills, life skills also, friendship, and all this collaboration.
Based on data. Okay. It's also important to take into account current trends of second language assessment. What is being done in the field of assessment that can enlighten the reforms that we would like to make. This is also very important because, basically, yes, I know that Sheikh said that this reform is really is very important, but to my mind, 90% of what is being proposed here for the BFEM is here. It was here. Okay? So I don't know what I'm not predicting the future, but I'm not sure that things will change drastically, because all of these activities are activities that were here in the BFEM format, except maybe for the true-false that was removed now. There is no true and false. Okay, but anyway, let's not predict, and just let the situation go on, and then we will see what will come out. Next slide, please. Okay, next. Well, this is this is important, maybe. Right now, our national exam, whether it is the BFEM, the baccalaureate, these are achievement tests because they are based on a given program. They are based on a syllabus. So, and the problem with that, why is this important is, if you have a program and then you have a national exam that is based on the program, it would be very difficult to cover all aspects of the program in the test. This is a very big challenge. I think this is one of the reasons why even with for the reading comprehension, they would like to introduce like 2 or 3 short texts instead of one text, one long text. So, but is that going to solve the problem? Let's wait and see. But it's important that maybe one thing also that we can think about is what if, for example, we change the nature of the baccalaureate exam? Instead of making it a test based on a syllabus, we just make it like the TOEFL test, which is just a proficiency test. So that students will learn, but then what they will see at the baccalaureate is not necessarily linked to the terminal program. We just say that, well, someone who is taking the baccalaureate should normally be able to have a basic level in this level of English, and then it's up to them just to do whatever they can to have that level. These are just maybe things, reflections that we can make and then make proposals afterwards. Okay.
English teachers, we have a lot of qualities that make the other teacher of the other subject invite us a lot. They sometimes don't hide their jealousy about us because we anticipated on everything. That's why for the communicative grammar, I think that we used to do it. We get habit of doing this kind of tests to the students before even this reform arrived to us. Answering papers during the exam, the real exam of BFEM, we used to ask our students or ask the students to answer directly before even this reform comes to us. Okay? So what we asked them to do was to just answer directly on the typing papers and just write their names on the exam paper for their identity. And also, as you said, Mr. Job, we asked them also to avoid making signatures or something like that that can make identification of the candidate. Okay? So I think that all these are also good. And we are welcoming this new reform. Okay? Maybe, as you said, 2 papers or 2 pages are not enough for the real exam. Okay? If this reform comes, it will be welcome.
I go by the name Aliuba. I'm a teacher of English at Tasiner High School down Ganjol. I would like first to thank Ates Wallo for giving us this opportunity. And thank you for the invitation. To thank all our trainers around. Every single time we benefit a lot of things from you. And thank you so much, Ates Service. Regarding the BFEM exam, I think that the question of true or false, it has always raised a lot of issues. Even though you propose that all these answers are true, justified from the text, you will see some students writing false. I'm telling you, that happened. So I think we can take it easy regarding the how to mark true or false. If the sentence is true and a student says false, I think we can eliminate that answer. You cannot say that Senegal is a country in West Africa, you say false, and then you give a good justification. That will be nonsense. It will be meaningless. So I will come back to the baccalaureate paper. I think that we are facing a real problem. What is this problem? Is our testing, the LV1 paper. Baccalaureate is very challenging. It is high time we took measures just to receive how the way of testing LV1 paper. Many students are moving English to Spanish or to Arabic because of that. It's very challenging. I give an example. Last year baccalaureate paper, 2018, the very first activity, that was very tough. It can even challenge a teacher of English. You can spend much time correcting it. And as the Dean said a while back, if it is challenging for a teacher, where are our students going? It's the main question to consider ourselves. So thank you so much. That was really brilliant. Thanks.
And the second one is regarding the reform of the BAC. During the ELD, Dr. Jan made a great presentation on oral exam. To come to the question raised by our sister, how to conduct the oral exam. He did a great presentation, and I asked dear Amin, okay, to talk to Dr. Jan, and I think he will send you the document, and we're going to share it to the platform. All right, thank you so much. So just to summarize how they do it, they gave it into the 3 steps, very simple 3 steps. And then they ask and they beg teachers to stop sting it on just a reading passage. Students, they come to the oral exam with a text, and you ask him, what is the text about? It's not oral test. It's a reading skills that you're testing. This is really skiing. What the text is about, and no, this is what they said. So the second thing is, they divided it into 3 steps. First, they said an introduction or an interview, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. This is about socializing. Put the student at ease, let him, for example, introduce himself, and then you socialize with him or her. The second step was a monologue with some questions. You select, for example, you pick one topic, just write few questions, and then you hand it to the student or the candidate. He can go somewhere and prepare it maybe for 10 minutes, and he will be back, or 5 minutes. And he will answer the question. When he's back, through question and answers, the student is okay, he knows now. And then after that, you will engage now the discussion itself. And then the discussion is based on the question that you have already, or you already asked the student before. So he has got a guideline, and he will know what he is going to discuss. Okay?
Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
I can't even breathe because of you. You human beings. Because your actions. Your wiseless actions. Your blind actions. Your blind actions. Because of wiseless actions.
Why are you crying?
Why have you put me into these situations? What have I done to you? What have I done to you? I have only done to good thing for you. Good thing for you so far. Yes, I said remain. Only class fix the bank security everywhere. You have even important in the atmosphere.
Why are you crying?
It will just the anesthetic eye. Yes. Yes, you have put it all the waterway in seas. You have able chance to put yourself into apocalypse because of exercise rates.
Yes. Mufrani is a citizen. He is a Senegalese. And your mother is a Senegalese. So, you are the citizen, right?
Are we citizens?
If we all answer this question, we will know what is the citizenship.
Don't go far away here in Senegal. Don't go far away here in Senegal.
Chance. It's time to be conscious. It's time to be good citizen.
Oh, right. You seem to be crazy. Unfortunately, I am the crazy person. You see how I'm clean? But I am that crazy? You see my attitude? Why I don't dare to throw the stone, to throw the rubbish in my bedroom, in the yard of my house? No, I prefer this way. I mean, got the tree, why?
Show me your spoon! Please, 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 please. Please. Stop using violence. Please. Please. Are you afraid of me? You! I say you pretend to be a good citizen. Please. It's time to change. It's time to be conscious. Are you a good citizen? Are you respecting others and their properties? Are you helpful and considerate? Are you abiding by the rules? Are you listening to other views and thinking about what they say? Are you respecting the environment?
I'll breathe the air of citizenship. It's a palpable, fresh perfume. In my life it reminds me of my right. But what the citizenship means to you, la, 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 to you, to you.
So good citizen, we always do a good deed, or even help us stronger in need. A good citizen obeys all laws and follow traffic rules without a pause. A good citizen must always be open-minded and keep an open heart.
I'll breathe the air of citizenship. It's a palpable, fresh perfume. In my life it reminds me of my right. But what the citizenship means to you, la, 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 to you.
Okay, my impression of this language day is that we have learned a lot here, in the sense that English Day promotes the language teaching development. So if we are here in order to promote the English language day, it will be an honor for us to be present and to share many things about the English language. Yes, the impact is that we have to promote English club as extramuros, because we don't consider teaching only in classes, because it's not enough. So it is important to create English clubs so as to try to have people, or mainly student learners, express themselves in English. As I said, promoting the English language, it doesn't mean simply writing. So students have to express themselves. Mainly when we talk about the new approach related to the communicative language teaching, we have to urge students to speak English. Of course, because I am used to saying, English is lovely. So all English lovers love the subject. And implementing or involving in the clubs, this means that you like the subject first. You are having very good marks. This urge you to be implemented in the English club. Thinking about clubs, we have to know that we are here in order to teach the subject. And the subject, we have to learn, understand, improve yourself in order to have a good mark. And we have, in that case, we teach people leadership, citizenship, because it is real life, it is our environment, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so today's session is about the reformulations of the reforms on the baccalaureate and the BFEM exams, and it is organized by the ATES Regional St. Louis, and also with the subchapter Walo, which I'm the president. And also in the afternoon we scheduled to have a a competition in ELD. It's about writing, talent show, and also spelling bee. Well, it's a great pleasure first because as I mentioned a while ago in my speech in the morning, I said that it just has been 2 years since this board existed, this subchapter, and this is the 3rd edition of the ELD, and it's the first time so they located it and organized it in a subchapter, and they have chosen us. So it's a great pleasure for us to host it. Yes, I would say that first of all it was to gather colleagues to make them aware of the importance of artists, because most of them they are not very committed. Oh, I won't say they are committed, but they said that they have not much time, and that was one of the most challenges. But also, other challenge was to raise interest for students towards this language by organizing activities as a spelling bee or talent shows or something like this, and also some games. Okay, it's because it is very topical. At this time, our students are losing interest of English because it was some time ago. Most of the students they choose English as LV1, but now it's a turn to Spanish or Dutch or Arabic, and it's because they have very bad grades, very bad marks at the BFEM and the baccalaureate exam. So they talking about communicative teaching, grammar communicative, and so on and so forth. But we teachers, I must say it, maybe we don't understand that method. So maybe those students they don't follow. That's why they have so bad marks. But we intended them to try to cover that pain.
I feel that is how I know you go on. Far across the distance in spaces between you have come to show you go on. Far wherever you are, I believe that the knowing go on.
When Martin Luther King was saying this, there was racial segregation in the United States. That was in the 1960s. To say that in that 1960s, that a black person named Barack Obama born, and that more than 30 years after, that black man became the president of the United States. To say that the dream of Martin Luther King has come true. Thank you very much for hearing.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. You're right, you get it right. Well, this dates back to the 1986. Let's say 1980s. In 1986 to be 87 to be honest. Somebody gave me the name. I was teaching at Saint Gaber in those years. And one day, I think it was in May, after my class, I came out, and the then Secretary General, Surveillance General, saw me and said, oh, wow, Mr. Brown. And I said, hey, you guy, why are you calling me Mr. Brown? And he said, well, I love sitting next to your class and listening to you teaching. And because that makes me remember the old days I was at school. And the books they used in those years were, the main characters were Mr. and Mrs. Brown. And he said, I love your English. From today on, I call you Mr. Brown. And it has stuck to me since then. That's why they call me Mr. Brown.
So many years plus.
After 26 years, it's still here.
And we are so proud to have you.
It's my pleasure. That's great. So anytime I'm among teachers of English, I'm like a fish in water. Fish in water. You take the fish out of water, you can have some problems. And I'm very proud to be here today because when I came this morning, some of them, the teachers I mean, They came to me and said, Mr. Brown, your children are here today. It means that we try to pave the way for them to become leaders. And then the leadership skills we try to instill and then try to spread. Today, I can see my former students taking pictures. And then when I see my former students who are now good teachers, I'm very proud of them because I keep telling them, if you cannot be the best, be among the best. And then sooner or later, you will be challenged. You have so many challenges, as one of your people said this morning, in this new world. So we have so many challenges. But I tell them, anytime you face a challenge, meet them. Don't run away. So I'm very proud of them. And this is something fantastic, because I see that some teachers who have been sort of hiding are coming out for professional development, which is something excellent. You cannot, there is nothing they can do as long as, you know, they stay aside. That this thing, having teachers, students and everything, it's a way of reflecting on our classroom practices, on so many things. This is wonderful. This is the main issue we're facing. It's a challenge. And I remember some 4 years ago, we had a meeting, a workshop on that especially. Why are students, now English is being sort of something absolutely important for the world economy. Why are students turning their back to English? That's a big issue. I think we need to have teachers, more motivated teachers. And then we need to have students who are involved. Because, you know, as the saying goes, teach me, I know, I learn, teach me, I know, and involve me, I learn. And I ran a workshop a week ago about how to develop motivation through classroom management. This depends on the teachers, on the material, on the way they teach. And they should know more and more about, they should be aware of the students. Who are they teaching actually? So this is something very important. And I think we have a step forward. Teachers are well aware about it and they are trying to change the situation, positively I mean, which is something fantastic. You're welcome and keep going.
And we hope you come back on the show. We have a special show with you and to share your experience because we need to hear from you.
Thank you very much. I love what you're doing and keep going.
Just to only say, I went to Calaban, my chicken lay and die. I went to Calaban, my chicken lay and die. I went back Calaban, my chicken lay and die. Went back to Calaban, my chicken lay and die. I talk to it, talk to it, talk to it. Father chicken told me, listen, I will talk to it. Listen, I...
All right, thank you very much, everybody. We're back on the stage, and as you know, we are today in Richard Toll on the occasion of the English Language Day, organized by the Association of Teachers of English in Senegal, chapter Richard Toll, St. Louis, and Podor. And we are reaching the end of the session today, and as you see behind me, there are some very beautiful women and handsome men who are the member of the host English Club today. And by the way, I have next to me Mr. Sheikh Tidiane Niang, Vice President of the National of the Secretary in charge of English clubs in Senegal, a very committed English teacher and the supervisor of this English club. He is going to tell us about his impression of the day before we move on to maybe performance from the English club. Welcome to the show, Mr. Niang.
Yes, welcome to Obama Show. So thank you a lot. Thank you for making it. First of all, I would like to thank God. And I say Alhamdulillah, because it was really difficult. But these students behind me, they made it. So I start by thanking them and to say that without them, it won't be possible. They made it successful today. So all the rewards is for them. They are the deans and they did a very good job.
All right. You know, before I come to Shartol, I mean, it's my first time, like Maja and Asan and Malai, my team members. It's their first time to come here, so it was very hard on the way, by the way. We were thinking that chess is the place where English dwells, the place where English lives, but we realized that students here are so good and speaking, grammar, writing. How was that training? You know?
So, but I say that you in chess, you are lucky enough to have so many teachers behind you or surrounding you. But here in this atoll, we just have 2 teachers, me and Ababakar, the former president of Ateswala. So today people, they are dancing, they are singing, they are crying. But I myself, I say so. Even I can say that they may not dance because we were doing these jobs without them. And I can say that this is the main problem for the English clubs. There are just 2 teachers that did all the great jobs. And when the day of rewards comes, all people ask for their part of the cakes. So this is the case of today. For the training, it was really hard. It was really hard because I myself, I had the tutoring classes on Wednesday and Saturday, but I was expelled because we focused on this event. And do you know that these events, people from Seydou, at one day they would like to postpone it. But I, Ababakar, and our dear students who are here behind us, they say that Mr. Nyan, no. Whatever the fact may be, we have to do it. We must do it because we love English. And when you love English, it's beyond of all limits.
And as English club leader and also vice president, vice national secretary in charge of English clubs, what is the long-term goal of Richard Hall English Club?
Just, I can say that we have 4 years, just 4 years. But we do so many things. First, we have a strong partnership between other schools. And at the first time when we came here, I say English, there was no English here in Richard Hall because I think it was dead here. But at the first time it was really challenging, but we make it as an opportunity and we say that we can do it. So many people, they say they can't do it. These boys, they are really one, they want to do anything. But we say that we must do it because we have one goal. Our goal is to reach the sky, and even that when we don't reach the sky, if we have a star, it will be good.
All right, thank you so much. It's Mr. Sheikh Tijan Nyam, Vice Secretary in charge of English Club and Supervisor of Richard Hall English Club, who is the host of this event. Richard Hall is the host EC of this English Language Day, and that was your show, the Obama Show, where we share your work and about your work. Thank you very much. So for your English Club events, your workshops, your seminars, don't forget to contact our team at 779383722, 773983722, or 772580137. Next time, best time.